Let me give you guys a quick backstory. My name is Nick Sarnicola. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan originally. Any Michiganders or OG Michiganders? There's an OG Michigander. And my upbringing is probably very similar to many of yours. Blue collar, middle class upbringing. How many blue collar folks out there when you're born and raised blue collar? I was blue collar. All four of my grandparents, they worked at the same factory. My dad, uncles, brothers, cousins, all at some point worked there. And I didn't know what I wanted to do or be when I grew up. I knew I didn't want to work there. That was like I had certainty in that. So I decided at a young age I want to be very successful financially one day. When you're a kid, you don't say that. You say you want to be rich one day. Anyone by show of hands, when you were a kid, you wanted to be rich one day? Yeah, like no kid was like, man, I want to grow up and be middle class one day. That would be awesome. I want to be somewhere in the middle. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be rich. So to me, this, like a lot of you guys have heard the story before, but it is the real story. I just went through the process of elimination. Like, okay, how can you be rich as a blue collar middle class kid? I can't sing. I can't dance. I can't rhyme. I can't act. I can't play an instrument. I'm not going to do anything illegal. What's left? Sports. Great. Went on and played college baseball. While playing college baseball, I was introduced to the number one, way that most people create time and financial freedom, which is entrepreneurship. And originally, I was very frustrated that I just went through 14,000 hours of kindergarten through 12th grade, and not one person brought the word entrepreneurship up once. How is that even possible? Now, they do today, but back then, back in my day, on my day in 1996, they didn't teach entrepreneurship in Michigan. So I found direct sales network marketing at 18. I was the kid that got recruited out of the mall. Remember when people used to go to malls to recruit? Remember when there was malls? So people used to go to malls and they would recruit. And I'm the one person that got recruited out of a mall that made it. I'm the only one recruit that ever, out of the billions of people that got recruited out of a mall, I was the one. And I got started. I failed just like probably many of you guys did for many years. But man, there was something about it, right? There's something about the industry and the feeling. And I was playing ball while starting in network marketing. And finally, I just said, you know what? This is my path. But sports requires something physical, and entrepreneurship, or in this case, direct sales network marketing, did not. It just required a little bit of this and a whole lot of this. By the way, who's got a little bit of this? Anyone got a little bit of this? It's a trick question. Every hand goes up. Okay, see how I did that? See how I did that? And then who's got a whole lot of this, right? You all have a whole lot of this. You're all top earners. You're all top producers. The 100+ people in the dozens of countries you're all top producers. And I do appreciate you playing along. Thank you. It makes me feel better about myself. So by the time I was 25, I'd made my first million in the industry. The company went out of business. I bought the assets. I created a company that lasted 15 years. It was known for creating a category at the time that did not exist, which is now challenge-based. So every challenge you see in every industry all kind of started. There was one challenge before us, which was the Pepsi Coke Taste Challenge, but that wasn't like a challenge to yourself with a timeline, and it wasn't a marketing message to engage, people on a journey to buy product. It was a taste test comparison. So we came up with an idea that was ahead of its time. We came up with an idea that changed the face of the industry for that decade. We came up with an idea that was edgy, fun, sexy. It crossed over. We came up with an idea that was viral. And I share all of these terms because, man, what we're doing here today, what we're here to talk about, is so far beyond anything that I've ever personally participated in before, and maybe some of you guys as well. This is truly a mainstream crossover idea. What scares me is that most networkers aren't going to get it. It doesn't scare me for me. It scares me for, I don't know if scares is the right word. What I feel bad about is that most networkers aren't going to get it. And today's conversation is going to be team builder heavy. There's going to be a lot of entrepreneurs that are watching or even watching the replay that necessarily don't come from our space. But our conversation is going to be more catered to our space of direct sales network marketing. And I have, it's not fear. I know the feeling of they're not going to get it. And I remember 2 weeks ago, I was looking in the room and I was like, some of these folks, it's not landing. They don't get it. They think it's about them and where they're at and their place in the industry. And they're not thinking about where the technology's at, where the world's at, where the next generation's at. And when you get stuck into where you're at and the way you do things, the way you operate, that's when everybody who has that thought process gets left behind in any industry. As soon as we believe the way we think and operate is the only way, that's the end. That's the beginning of the end, right? So I got exposed to this idea personally. Well, I guess landing the plane, our company was acquired by none other than Terry LaCour 5 years ago. And this part of the story is significantly relevant for anyone who's watching here or afar as to, why I chose to be a part of this company and why I believe in this company. In my final 4 years of being the CEO of my prior company, the first person I called when I became the CEO was Terry LaCour. First phone call. I called Stuart. I said, Stuart, what's Terry's number? I called Terry. I said, look, I'm the new CEO now of the company, and I need products. I need help. I need support. I need ideas. I came out right here, and I saw a very different company. You guys are looking at a company that's got nearly 1 million square feet under roof just in North Dallas alone. And that was 2017 when I made that call and I came out here. And we put a deal together, and Terry supported us in many ways. European logistics, international expansion, product formulation. Probably the biggest one is he became our merchant provider. Like, it was crazy to me that how many of us as owners in the network marketing space just get destroyed by these banks because we're high risk. Oh, well, you're a network marketing company, so you're high risk for returns, and they're holding 10% of your money on a revolving scenario. The moment we did business with Terry day one, we got almost $1 million back from our merchant account because he's like, oh, I know you guys, 50 grand. We're like, 50 grand? You're just going to hold back 50 grand? Our bank's held back $750,000. He just gets it, right? He knows the industry and he knows people. So my exposure to him was at that level. We made the decision to merge, his primary company together with our company. He was really interested in our European operation, and it was a great journey. It's still going. They're still doing very well and very happy. But my partner stayed on to the president there, and I kind of just took a step back and said, all right, where does my heart sit? I just lost my baby, right? My business baby. I just lost my business baby. Where's my heart? So I kind of stayed out of the game for the last 4 or 5 years, and I built some traditional companies. And while I was building those traditional companies, I obviously, paid very close attention to what Terry was up to. We had multiple conversations, and finally he gave me a call and he said, hey, I've got an idea. And when somebody who's doing billions in revenue on 4 continents, that's got his hands in 150 different companies in terms of the way that he does business with them, he owns and operates 15 to 20 in your industry, you pay very close attention. Right? You pay and for those of you guys that know Terry, he's not the guy that calls you with a new idea every minute and then forgets about it. He's an execution machine. He's actually the opposite. You give him the idea, he executes at the highest level. He actually says to you, what's your idea? You give him the idea, he said, great, let's do it. I'll back you, let's roll. So when he said, hey, I got an idea, I was like, oh, okay. What are we doing? I'm on a plane. And I came out here and he said, I got a really interesting perspective of of what's working and not working in our industry. I've got a really interesting knowledge of where the industry is going, what's failing, where people are making bad decisions, and I want to be able to create something that will speak to all of them. So that's kind of the end of my story. That's a transition here into the Shopley conversation today. And before I go transition significantly into the Shopley conversation, there's 2 major producers that flew in today. They're keynote speakers on stages all over the world. They are talented and beautiful, and they got big hearts and they're loving, and they're vertically challenged. They're vertically challenged as well. They're also my kids. So I want to introduce you to my kids because they're anxious to get the hell out of here. They want to go play. And for a second, if I could bring Nicholas and Giovanna Sarnicola up to the front of the room. Everyone else, give a little round of applause here. So I'm gonna bring you guys, come this way over here, guys. So let's see if we can get this one turned on. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. Okay, you 2 come here. You want to stand up here? Go ahead, buddy. Stand up there. I'm gonna give you guys this microphone. You're gonna pass it back and forth. So one of the things I'm most passionate about, guys, is teaching the youth about non-traditional education. And why am I transitioning with this today? Because what we're going to talk about with Shopley is about the next generation. Period. End of story. The way we're used to doing business in our industry, it's not done, but it's done. You know what I mean? Like, it's not done as in it's like no more, but it's on its way. It's the end of an age of a way we were doing business. I would imagine that it was probably like the year 2000, where there were certain leaders that are like, the way we did business is going to be done from this point forward, because there's this new thing called the internet. There's these new thing called email addresses. There's this new thing coming, where you can swipe credit cards, or you can punch in your credit card and shop online. And that was only 25 years ago, right? So what is our industry going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? I don't know, but I know if I train them well enough, if I really mess this up, I've got 2 more chances to retire. And this is chance number 1 and chance number 2. Okay, so let's Giovanna, real quick, tell me, let's talk about money for a second. What is money? Does money make you happy? Does it bring you love? Does it bring you joy? What is money? It's just a what?
Resource.
Money is just a resource. And Nicholas, what can you do with that resource? There's 4 things you can do with money. Tell me 2 of them.
Invest it, save it.
Good. Give me the other 2. Invest it, save it.
Start a business or give it to people who need it.
Excellent. Give a round of applause, please. Give it up. Give it up. Okay, Gia. We have non-traditional education, traditional education. What are 3 types of non-traditional education?
Emotional intelligence,
good.
Leadership, and philanthropy.
Good one. Nicholas, you got a couple more? Throw them out there.
Health and fitness.
Good.
Real estate.
Real estate's a good one. Let's talk about real estate. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And stock market.
Stock market's a good one too. Okay, so let's talk about goals for a second. What's the difference between a dream and a goal, Nicholas?
A goal is a dream with a deadline.
That's very good. And Gia, what is the science of goal achievement?
Set your goals, create your strategy, and take massive action.
Excellent job. What's the definition of a leader? Ooh.
A leader is someone who dedicates their life to growing and developing others.
Nicholas, what's the definition of entrepreneurship?
An entrepreneur takes the risk to start a business to bring product or service to the market.
Give them all a big round of applause. Very good. Well done. I'm very proud of you guys. I love you guys. And you guys go play, go have fun. Daddy's going to be here working hard so I can pay all the bills. Okay, get on out of here. Lonnie, anywhere you want to take them, feel free whenever they're ready. So, obviously I do that for what's great for them, putting them on stage. So your retirement is secure. My retirement is secure. Okay. I want to make sure that I always get them a chance to do that, because I want to, expose them to people like yourself. And public speaking is not easy, as you guys know. But also the point of this is the company we're here to talk about is about the future. It's not about another. I'm just tired of the same old, same old. Same old, same old, different name. Same old, different ingredients. Same old, different percentage on the 8th level. Same old, it's all the same. And what got me out of, network marketing retirement, what got me back in the game was something fun, edgy, exciting. And here's a word, disruptive. Something disruptive. Because what we're doing here is a new category of business. It's not the same way of doing the old thing. It's a new way of doing something that doesn't exist at all. And for those of you guys that have never read Play Bigger, I strongly recommend it. That book is about category kings and what happens when you create a blue ocean strategy, when everyone else is running over here and you're running over here. There is no competition when you're in a blue ocean. Let's say that again. There is no competition when you're in the blue ocean. We're never going to leave this room looking at other companies in our vertical as competition, because we don't do business the same way that they do business. In fact, we very easily could become a billion plus a year company without anyone from the direct sales industry ever believing in us one bit. But I know the smart ones who are in the forefront of what's next on the, in technology and what's happening in the world are going to be the leaders of what we're going to do here today. So let's dive in. I bought as much time as I could for a clicker. I'm not sure if it worked, but next slide. Ooh, this is going to be fun. All right. So Shopley we kind of coined as an idea of decentralized commerce. Now, most of the people in the room looks like anything to do with the blockchain. You know, that's just decentralization can be used for any industry that you're trying to take the power back from one entity or a couple of a monopoly or an oligopoly, and you're trying to bring that power and give it back to the people. That's what decentralization means. So when we say decentralization of commerce, what are we talking about? We're talking about the way business is done right now today, and taking some of that back. Well, how's it being done right now? Amazon. You guys realize that 36% of all e-commerce in America last year was done on Amazon? 36%. Over one out of every three things purchased on the internet in America last year was through Amazon. Like, that's insane. Let that sink in. All the people that are on the internet every day, all of the people that buy things off the internet every day, one out of every three transactions is Amazon in America. Wow, that's centralized commerce. That means they can do whatever they want. They can squeeze out whoever they want. They can make whatever rules they want to make. And that's why we want to decentralize commerce. How about Facebook? Every time you get a little traction, they change the algorithm. Every time you get a little traction, all your competitors knock your ad off, and it looks exactly yours, and they just advertise right back to your own avatar anyways. And meanwhile, Zuckerberg's got an 80,000 square foot bunker house in the middle of Hawaii just in case the world comes to an end. Off what? Facebook ads. That's all Facebook ad revenue. That's how they make money, right? Google AdWords. Man, did AI really shine a light on the truth or untruth of Googling something? I believe forever, if you Googled it and it came up on there, that was the point of truth. Whatever came up on there was point of truth. Turns out through AI, we're realizing the answers you can get on quality AI might be just a little bit different than that first page on Google. Why? Because the first page of Google is biased. The more you pay, more money you're willing to give Google, the more opportunity you are to change the way people perceive information. And that's Google. So I'm not mad at them. I'm a capitalist. I'm an entrepreneur. So it's not like I'm mad at that. What I say is, how do we do something different and better that brings power back to a business owner, to a person that's a leader of sales forces, to a social media influencer that wants to create transactions. Next slide, please. That's what we're here to talk about. And we're going to start with kind of looking at the platform. It's got 5 different buckets that we impact. They're really in 3, these are kind of subcategories. They're really 3 categories that kind of break into 5 subcategories. What are the 3 categories? Vendors, influencers, and people that know how to build a team in direct sales network marketing. That's really the 3. But as you start to uncover, you're like, oh, wait a second. We need actually to define which type of vendors. There's vendors of physical products. By a show of hands, who in the room actually is the owner of a company that has physical products? Any physical products in the room? Excellent. And then who owns a company that has digital products? Any digital vendors? Wow. So these are owners in the room. These aren't just people that build teams. These are entrepreneurs who also build teams. So we're a platform that does both physical and it does digital. Give me a second here. I'm going to move this viewpoint. There we go. Now let's look at the other side of this. The other side is the people that are trying to help the vendors sell, right? How do we help the vendors sell? Social media influencers. Here's a couple facts that are interesting. The #1 career choice of my children and your Generation Z of your family is what? Social media influencer. Love it or hate it, it's not an astronaut. It's not a teacher. It's not a pro athlete. It's not an actor. The #1 career choice of Generation Z is social media influencer. So that's why, like I said, over the last, I feel like we've been doing this for months. It's only been 2 weeks that we've been talking. I've been to 6 countries on this topic in the last 2 weeks of meeting with top talent everywhere. And it's crazy how quickly you can see who gets it and who doesn't get it when you talk about social media influencers. The person who's the team builder that kind of pulls back, oh, I don't really mess with social media. I'm like, good luck. Good luck. That's like 1997, a team builder going, I don't really mess with the internet. Good luck. You're just going to keep doing sales out of your garage with Amway and your abacus? That's not going to go very long, right? You're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to adapt. And if you don't adapt, you get left behind. Charles Darwin said that, something like that. It's not an exact quote, but you get the idea. It doesn't matter if you want to be a social media influencer. It's not about us. It's about where the puck is going. And Tony, I can't believe you said that. I felt like a fake right when you said it. 3 seconds earlier, tell me your first name again. Lee. I was saying to Lee, I said, you know what? And I hadn't used this example yet. I said, what we're doing is kind of like Wayne Gretzky's quote. We're skating to where the puck is going, not where it's at. Everyone else is skating to where it's at. We're skating to where it's going. And that's the idea of social media influencing. Let me change the language for you. Live commerce, social commerce, unboxing. These 3 terms are the ones you got to get really connected to. Because at the end of the day, if you've ever built a team before, did you want a few customers or a lot of customers? Make some noise if you wanted a lot of customers. Just clap it up if you're like, I wanted a lot of customers. A lot of customers. Okay. You probably weren't the person getting the customers, were you? But you had an army of people getting the customers. Social media influencers in our world are just the people that are going to get the customers. And if you don't have an army of them, you're not going to get customers. Not at the way it used to be, not like the way it used to be done. The home party is dead. Going into the home and demonstrating stuff, it's dead. Live commerce is now. Social commerce, unboxing, that's the now. So how do we have 1 million, 2 million, 3 million people doing live commerce? Okay, team builders, that one's obvious. We've all built teams before. And then lastly, business development. I show you all 5 of these because if you have a question of what are we, the answer is yes, or kind of. Are you a network marketing company? Kind of. Do I have to build network marketing? No. Do I have to build a team to make money? No. Do I have to sell anything to make money? No. Wait, what are you talking about? I could make 6 figures and not sell anything? Yep. How? It's called business development. Are there any biz dev people that put deals together and you're like, you get together, I'm taking a piece? That's biz dev. We've built a platform where you could build no team, make no sales, and still make 6 figures a year. Tell me another company doing that. We built a platform where you could build no team, just transact through your phone as a stay-at-home mom and still make 6 figures a year. We built a company where you could build a team like you used to build a team and still make 6 figures a year. We built a company where you could sell physical products and still make 6 figures a year, where you could sell digital products and still, you get the idea. I know 6 isn't a lot to most people in this room. Just change a year to a month and still make 6 figures a month. Next slide, please. So let's go through some of the challenges on the team builder side. This is, when I go into this conversation, love or hate me stylistically, I'm just very direct. You know, my favorite meme of all time is I'm not, what's the name? I'm not Willy Wonka. I don't sugarcoat shit, right? I love that quote because I just want you to tell me straight. Just tell me straight. Just don't give me the 5 paragraphs leading up to it. Just tell me I can handle it. Okay, let's move on. And some people, when I go through this part, they feel offended. But you have to ask yourself, if you feel offended when we go through this part, what is it that offends you, me or the information? And if it's the information, you have to ask yourself why it offends you. Because it's true, because we don't have an answer for it. That's the stuff you have to ask yourself. So let's talk about it. Team builder challenge number 1, 3 degrees of separation. Now we would think 3 degrees of separation would be a good thing, and it is, but it's not necessarily a great thing if you're a product company. Because the closer we get as a world, because of social media, the less you can ship into your teams. Because you are 3 degrees away from knowing every person on the planet now. And unfortunately, products can't ship into every country around the world. And it's decimating our industry from a product perspective. So what's everybody doing? We're gonna have to go to a company that we can sign up all of our people worldwide. Well, what are those companies? You think you know what those companies are without me going into them. And I don't believe they are the best solution for a global travel company is the best solution for a long-term play of direct sales network marketing. Never been one, right? So we need tangible goods. We need products. We need something to hold on to, but you can't do it on a global scale. And that was the problem that Terry LaCour brought to the table. Said, I'm going to solve this challenge. How? He said, I'm going to let the leaders pick the products they want to sell in the countries that they want to sell them. I'm going to let the leaders choose where they want to go, and they can decide what they want to sell. I was like, wait. Okay, hold up. So if I have people in Australia, my people are going to pick what they want to sell in Australia. It's like, yeah, as long as it's permitted there, they can ship there. They're already got the certifications. Why do we have to figure out for 2 years how to hold those people shipping through different ports of whatever, while they're frustrated that, the customs held this box of products and that box of products, and why don't we just pick stuff that's localized? I was like, we can do that? Yeah, let's do it. And so you're going to need thousands of corporate salespeople, thousands of them. And he's like, no, we won't. I'm like, why? He's like, we're going to just give a vendor development bonus to every one of the leaders that brings the companies on the platform. Now, I want you to process this for a moment. I referenced it earlier by talking about business development. You bring a vendor onto the platform in any country, even if you do no transactions yourself, you're taking a piece of every transaction. Now, disclaimers, warnings, highlights. I'm not allowed to say it's a royalty from legal, but I mean, if the shoe fits, it's kind of what that is outside of our world. But I know inside of our world, we're very careful on what we share things. So it's a vendor development bonus. But when you're getting a piece of every transaction, whether you sell it or not, you do the math on what that definition is. That's pretty damn cool. How many of you guys know companies that sell products or digital in other countries other than America by show of hands? Please yell out some countries for me. Malaysia, Japan, Thailand, Philippines, Mexico, England, Germany. Okay, California. Oh, shots fired. Okay, I just heard 12 countries. Guys, we're going to be open for business in 190 countries and territories day one. Ask me what we're selling. Say, Nick, what are we selling? I don't know. What do you want to sell? Well, that's refreshing. That's a different idea. What do I want to sell? Yes, what do you want to sell? If you know a company that's shipping into Europe and they've got a great product and you want to partner with that product and you want to take it and spread it all across Europe, let's do it day one. You know one in Malaysia? Let's do it. You know one in Japan? Let's do it. You know one in Mexico? Let's go. As long as they can handle shipping and customer service, we're in that country day one building the team. But you know what's bigger than that? The first person that Terry had me sit down with was this gentleman in the back, Mr. Rod Larson. Give it up for this good-looking fellow in the back of the room. Yes, the one with the bald head. Oh wait, there's still wait. The one with, oh wait, okay, the light skin one. Give it up for the bald head light skin. Okay, so Rod and I sat down, and we had known each other for 15, 20 years. Never crossed paths directly, but indirectly through great, talented people that we both know, loved, and respected. And every person I ever met that had worked with Rod had said the same thing. I love my CEO. He's amazing. He's a good man. He's talented. I trust him. And that was just what I heard about him over and over and over again. So I sat down with him. It was already easy for me to transfer, that respect and trust for him. And we were talking and we're going through the idea. And I was like, okay, what about this? What about this? And I remember the next day or two later, I called him. I said, what about digital? He's like, what do you mean? I said, well, the digital education space, this is an unvalidated statistic I saw. So I should validate it now that I'm seeing it for a second time. My understanding is digital content is $100+ billion industry this year. $100+ billion is going to be people clicking and downloading information. So I didn't want to jump ahead. And I just wanted to let the kids leave. This is the part where I was going to bring the kids up, because I don't know if college is going to be the same for my kids. I don't know if college is the right path for my kids. I don't know if I want to pay 75 grand a year for something they can learn on the internet. They're going to spend 75 grand. Do you know what you can get for 75 grand now? You can go sit down with some of the richest people who are the best of the best of the best of the best on any topic, and you go sit down with them for 75 grand. Why would you go sit in a classroom with someone that isn't building what they're talking about in that moment? That's a whole different way of learning. Digital education is about learning from people that have expertise in your topic from them and now. And if we're going to spend $250,000 on education, man, I want my kids to get it from the back. And I would love to get a piece of that $100 billion in downloads this year. So stupid question, but a real one. Make some noise if you want a piece of $100 billion in downloads this year. Absolutely. Do you know what every course creator wants? What every educator wants? The same thing every musician wants. It's one word, starts with a D. It's not drugs. Thank you. It's a different one. That's not, I just came up with that joke on the fly, so I wasn't practicing that one, but I'll use it again. What does every musician want when they make a song? Starts with a D. Downloads. Okay, downloads. Distribution. They want downloads is actually also an accurate answer, but that downloads comes through distribution. So how's their music going to get distributed? Or how's your course going to get distributed? Out of curiosity, who has a course currently that they've already created? All right, so here we got 20% of the room. Our course creators go live day one with course creators on every level, brand new to the best of the best, and we can take them to 190 countries and territories day one. You can become your own course creator, which means you now have your own digital product that you can sell. This is a game changer. Some of you guys know that the industry over the last 30, 40 years has always had two issues when it came to digital content. They would say to you, hey, now that you're a top money earner, you cannot sell your own content. You cannot teach your own practices. You cannot sell your own system, or you'll be thrown out of the company. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of that in a company before. Or you have the other issue. Sure, you can sell or do whatever you want. You're separate of us. You do what you want. Well, what's the problem with that? That person's team really starts to get frustrated with that one leader because they're selling all their own swag and keychains and journals and content and training and taking it all for themselves. Well, we're a platform, which means if you want to sell keychains and t-shirts and your own content, everyone in your team is going to get paid off that because it's going to go through the comp plan. Hello. Because it's being sold to the marketplace. The company is already in the transaction. Your team is in the transaction. It accidentally solved one of the biggest issues that we've ever faced as team builders. And when I figured that out, I was like, this is going to really, really support global team builders who have great content, who have great voices, great culture, and who can share in that revenue with their team, and they can share that revenue with the company. So let's keep going. I think there's a hole at the top. What do I mean by that? There's a hole at the top for top earners that want to make seven-figure monthly incomes. There's a hole at the top. And they're jumping to companies that maybe are slightly questionable, if any reason for their longevity. How long is this company going to be around? I don't know. The money's too good. We'll figure that out later. We want to be the company that you can count on that's going to be here for a very long time, but it's here to fill that hole so top money earners can make the money that they need and that they want to make. And honestly, this is the part where, again, we're going to have tough conversations. Our industry's gone backwards every year for the last few years. Why? The network marketing industry is backed up every single year, double digits going backwards. Why? To me, it's a couple reasons. The side gig economy is crushing it. So building a team, the way we think of building a team, does not resonate anymore with most people. They don't want to try to put 500 people into a business and try to hold them in order to make money. A dad can just go turn on Uber and make $500 a week and have full control over that. A stay-at-home mom Do you know what the #1 desired side gig is for a stay-at-home mom? Same as Gen Z. She wants to do live commerce. She wants to be a social media influencer. And I think a lot of people, when they hear social media influencer, they just think of maybe a model or a travel blogger or an actress or whatever. They're missing this huge chunk of social media influencers that transact, that sell things, and they sell things all day, every day. And they make money, and they make the people money that they're working with. They make money for the people that they're working with. So it's really hard for network marketing to keep a stay-at-home mom in the business when we're like, hey, you can have 10% off everything you sell. She's like, 10%? I can go straight to any company and get 35%, 40. Why would I want your 10%? Where's the other 40 going? To all of you? Why? Because we support you. It doesn't fly anymore. So we can't keep the bottom. We can't hold the bottom. We can still get them in because we're all good at what we do, but we can't keep them. Next slide. So social media influencers have their challenges as well. And what are those social media influencers dealing with? They're dealing with companies that don't have a lot of offers. So if I'm a social media influencer and I'm in a network marketing company, I cannot talk about the same product or the same idea over and over and over. It does this, it does this, it does this, it does this. And everyone's like, unfollow, unfollow, unfollow. They need new information. They need new product launches. They need new offers. What if there's a platform with thousands of companies and tens of thousands of offers in the first few months? And long-term, tens of thousands of companies, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of offers long-term. An influencer can go on there. They can, based on their category, based on what's important to them, based on what's important to their following, and they'll always have something new to talk about. Look at incentive. When you look at incentives out there, influencers are tired of getting paid 10 to 15% in direct sales network marketing, so they quit. Like, I want more money. So here's what we do. We give 100% of what's called a direct bonus to the social media influencer. Well, how much is that? I don't know. Well, why don't you know? You're the president. Because we don't decide. The vendor decides. This is another small idea that changes the game. If I'm a jewelry company and I'm selling this bracelet for $500, I can give a $200 direct bonus today to anybody that sells it. And whoever sells it gets that $200 directly. And you're like, well, what about the uplines? We're going to talk about that soon. We haven't forgotten about you. Don't worry. But if I'm a fitness influencer, right now I can go click on, health and fitness equipment. Boom, I find something that's a $4,000 piece of equipment. They're willing to pay me $1,000 to sell it. I sell one today, I make $1,000. Bye. I'm going to go work out for the next 12 hours because that's what I do. And that's and that's what Julie wants to do as a pro fitness expert, right? And then lastly, the lower right-hand corner here is copycats. If there is any social media influencers in the room, last 2 weeks ago, we had a bunch of them. This one, you always see them go, yep, he's telling the truth. When you're a social media influencer and you're any good at it, and you put a deal together with, let's say, this company right here, this is hot tea, by the way, if you're wondering, give me too much caffeine and we got a problem. So with the weight loss tea, I go do a deal with the weight loss tea company and I start pushing out my videos. I start pushing out my content. Immediately, anyone who's following me that's also a social media influencer calls that company, puts a deal together. Now they're cutting into my market share. We got the same following. Our followers are overlapped. I'm trying to sell to them and they're saying exactly what I just said. Because what I just said, I can't trademark or copyright. It's just my video. What if influencers, social media influencers, the great ones, they could just say, hey, guys, we're going to do product launches together. Let's all launch this product together. They're now, in our world, the upline. We can teach social media influencers that they can leverage our affiliate tracking system, our attribution system, our compensation structure, our software. All they have to do is say to their copycats, some of their copycats are best friends, by the way, and say, look, let's all join Shoply together. I will teach you what I'm doing. I will show you what I'm doing. I will help you blow up your sales because now they're tied to that sale. And that is a different way for social media influencers to approach their business. Next slide. We are so committed to this path of live commerce unboxing, and beyond that, that we had to think really outside, not for the lack of a better word, outside the box, saying that word again. We had to think outside the box on this one. I knew that I'm not a social media influencing expert. I'm not a live commerce expert. I'm not an AI expert. I'm not any of these things. And so how the heck are we going to teach people all of these things without it being fake? Because man, I'll tell you what, network marketing companies are really good at saying that they're going to teach something that they're so good at and they don't know nothing about. So how do we, and they're always having to be, how do we control the information? How do we not let people go to other places? And like, those days are done. You cannot control information. You cannot control your people. May the best speaker win. May the best product win. May the best voice win. It's uncontrollable now. True or false? True. It's uncontrollable. Anyone that wants to find information outside of you, all they got to do is go find it. They don't need your permission. So how do we create a marketplace where then the best information wins? Well, what we already know, we're going to have vendors. And we already know those vendors are going to be experts in certain topics. But we're just getting ahead of the curve. We're picking certain vendors, and we'll pick more in the future, and we'll change and we'll adapt based on the community. And these vendors are absolute authorities in certain topics. And we'll put together a different contract with them, and we'll make them what we'll call a super vendor for this conversation. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to give us their content for free. They're not going to charge our people for it. They're going to teach them how to influence, how to build a brand, how to scale a brand, how to go viral, how to do live commerce. But there's also all of us. We're going to teach education on mentorship, on mindset, entrepreneurship, skill set, team building, leadership. These are things that we're going to teach people anyways. But if we have courses out there in the world and on the ecosystem, well, now these have a fair market value. We know that, hey, he's charging $1,000 for this leadership course. Is he willing to give us for free? He's one of the best in the world at it. Well, why would he do that? Because it's going to be symbiotic. If he's willing to give us that course for free, so when people join our company, they can go through that course and learn the topic of blank. Lots of people are going to see him. They're going to buy from him in the marketplace. We're going to show our people other people's content. They're already buying it. They're buying it around you. They're just going to these people directly. We have to stop thinking in that manner. We have to change the way we think. We should be saying, how do we pick who they're seeing and compensate ourselves and them and the company? How do we get that vendor to provide value to us for free? How do we collaborate? How do we collaborate? That's the word. So this is such a unique piece about what we're doing, because you never know who's going to pop up on here. I can tell you guys right now, I'm actively in 3 dialogues with people who are the best in the world at their current topics. Every single one of us in this room have bought their books, attended their events, listened to their voices. We're all over their social media. Not 1, not 2, but 3 of them. One's a billionaire. One's probably the fastest growing up and coming right now. One is the GOAT in his particular topic. And all of them like, holy shit, Nick, you're going to sell my stuff worldwide with 100,000 affiliates? I'm like, yep. Like, all right, let's dig into this. Let's meet on this. Let's go through the contract on this. Well, what do you want from me? I want a freemium version from you. I want you to give me whatever you're willing to give me for free. So when people join our company and they're willing to pay to join our company, that they're going to get your information for free up to a certain point. And then they're going to come back to you and buy the rest. And that's how we're going to work together on this. This is a never been done before idea that allows the marketplace to dictate who are the best and who should be the ones that are educating across the platform. Next slide, please. Let's talk about the vendors here as we wrap up. I know this is a lot of information, and I'm going much deeper than I normally would, but this is a smart group, and the 100 that we got online here is a smart group as well. Let's talk about vendor challenges. What does a vendor want? Customers, revenue, sales, volume. That's what they want. So why would a vendor want to be in the platform? Well, number one, hey, you're going to have access to the entire network of affiliates and influencers that we have. It's up to you to have a good product. It's up to you to have good marketing. It's up to you to have a good offer. We can't control that. You got to create that. but you're going to get access to a brand new sales force, if you will, the Shoply sales force on a global level. Number two, we're going to teach you, vendor, how to launch your own affiliate network. Meaning when a vendor joins, they're also going to get a freemium version of content. How to use AI inside their business. Free content is going to different modules they can go through. One of the other modules they can go through is how to launch your own affiliate channel. I'll role play with this with you guys right now. Let's use a product in the room. Let's use your bottle, Tony. Can we use your bottle? Yeah, run that up here real quick if you can. Okay, we're going to use this company. What's the name of this company?
Stanley.
Stanley. Oh, there's a Stanley cup. Okay, perfect. Let's use Stanley. Now, I don't know how big Stanley is now. They may be too big for where we're at today as a startup, but they won't be as soon as we have buying power and distribution. But Stanley's, they're doing $1 million a month in sales. So you're just getting successful. And we say, hey, Stanley, listen, how are you selling your product today? And they say, oh, two ways, retail and direct to consumer. Got it. So you're running Facebook ads, you have an influencer program where you're paying influencers, but you don't know if you're going to get guaranteed sales. You're paying those influencers for posts. Yeah, how'd you know? We know how this works. You're probably paying for some Google AdWords. Yeah, we're paying. And every time you pay for the AdWord, everyone else pays for the AdWord, and you're struggling to see who's going to get top rank. Yeah, exactly. And the cost of acquisition is keeping going up on your Facebook ads. Yeah, how'd you know? More competition. What we're going to do is we're going to not only give you access to our affiliates, they may or may not like your Stanley Cups. We don't know. That's up to you. But I'm going to show you how we can guarantee some revenue for you through our channel by launching your affiliate network for you. Okay, how are we going to do that? Just like this, Mr. Stanley. Mr. Stanley, how many people love your cup? Well, we've sold 50,000 of them so far. That's awesome. How many of them are referring other people to you in a way that you can measure it? Oh, hundreds. Wait a second. You have hundreds of people referring your product to other people right now? Yeah. How are you rewarding them? We reshare their posts. So you have hundreds of people buying your product, saying how much they love it, and they're advertising for you, bringing you new customers. How are you rewarding them? We don't have a mechanism. Well, what if all of your best customers, your most loyal customers, the ones that are already referring customers for you, what if you could start paying them and you didn't have to track it, you didn't have to worry about how, you didn't have to 1099 them, all you had to do was put them on our platform, we handle all that, we launch your affiliate program for you inside of Shoply, but with your customer base, and now your best customers are going crazy bringing you more Stanley Cups. Make some noise if you like that idea, if you think we're onto something here. Guys, we are onto something here. Because I can tell you right now, the conversation I had the other day with the goat of his category, he's like, wait, let me get this straight. Can I also, he goes, I'm trying not to give this away. I have 50,000 coaches in the topic of blank. Are you saying I can put the 50,000 inside of Shoply and I can use your softwares and tracking and your payment systems and your 1099 to pay them to sell my stuff? Yep. He's like, this is a game changer. He got it immediately. I didn't even want to present to him the idea. I didn't go to him to present the idea of launching an affiliate channel for him. I just wanted to sell his stuff for him. He was the one that came up with the idea in his own mind of how he could also launch his own affiliate channel. So if the big guys can get it, the big people can get it, anybody can get it because it's predictable cost of acquisition. Next slide. It's predictable cost of acquisition. In closing, nobody kept me on time, so I don't know how long I've been talking. You got to do the timer thing with me. What about other marketplaces? This is the most common question I've received last 2 weeks. Gosh, it's not 2 years? Okay, last 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, both positively and negatively, a question can be proposed positively, or it can be done in a negative way. They're doing just like so-and-so is doing this. I already know all this. I already know all this. That's like saying, well, they're launching a product in the same category, so therefore I already know everything about that product. That doesn't make sense. They're launching a company in the same category, therefore I already know everything about that company. That doesn't make sense. So the most common objection would be, well, Nick, what about this network or this marketplace or this? And I'm not even talking about network marketing, affiliate channels, this channel, a Shopify collab. There's a good 100 great ideas out there. Guys, great ideas don't matter. Sorry about that. Thank you, Stanley. Great. This is Mr. Stanley, by the way. Thank you, Mr. Stanley. There's 1,000 great ideas in every category, 1,000,000 great ideas in every category. You know what matters? Execution. Execution is all that matters. We had a great idea once. We got our ass kicked by the company that came after us. They're still $1 billion market cap today. They're called Beachbody. They weren't shy about it. They knocked off our entire idea and they kicked our ass because execution is what matters. It's not about the one person that has the one idea. It's about, can you execute it? But let's look at all of what we are, because it's really important you understand all of what we are. We do product and digital and some services. So when somebody says, well, what about this? The first question is, do they do product, digital, and some services? The next question is, can every vendor on the platform launch their own affiliate channel off the technology, attribution system, compensation structure from the platform? Probably a hard no on that for most. Number 3, is there a business development opportunity, also known as vendor development, Rod? Is there a way that somebody can just connect 2 parties? Here's a vendor, there's the salespeople. I'm making a percentage off every transaction, whether I sell one or not. Is that possible on that platform? What about this? Are they in 190 territories and countries day one? I'm going to bet hard no. Why? Because they don't own the bank. And this is one that people are going to overlook over and over and over again, because this company's got a better website. This company's got a cooler video. This one's got a sexier president. This one's this one has a better, it's got more percentage points on the 18th level or whatever, right? Are they the bank? Are they the bank? Well, why? Why does that matter? I'll tell you why it matters. Because if you're a marketplace, that means you have thousands of vendors who are all transacting on your merchant accounts. If one has fraud, the whole thing goes down. You can't just separate that if you don't own the bank. But if you're Liquor and you are the bank and you have a direct relationship with Visa, MasterCard, it's not that anything goes, it's that he can pinpoint through his AI, or Liquor payment system can pinpoint through its AI, which vendor has the fraud. And you just shut off that vendor and the rest keep rolling. And if you can't do that in a different marketplace, all of our businesses are at risk. The business as a team builder, the business as a vendor. Imagine you're a vendor doing $1 million a month on a platform and gets shut down because some other vendor in a far off country is running fraud. And you're like, oh, turns out the company I'm a part of doesn't have the control. So guys, that one idea alone is what separates us from the rest. But when you combine all of these ideas, you have something that is unlike anything else. And this is why we believe that decentralized commerce and Shoply is different. It's a category creator. It's unique. It's not. It's taking, an idea that's out there, but pulling all the pieces together. And most importantly, it's something that we can execute on.